Duolingo, the longest road to not learning a language. What Duolingo is good for and what it's not, and why real fluency will always need more than an app. Many of my students tell me, often excitedly, that they've already been learning German with Duolingo. And then their faces fall when they see my forced polite. This isn't revolutionary, but I'll say it anyway. You won't learn a language just by using Duolingo. Or any other app for that matter. What apps promise but can't deliver? What Duolingo and its competitors sell is the illusion of fluency. They offer vocabulary, sentence structure, even pronunciation and listening practices. And I'm not here to say these tools are useless, far from it. In fact, I recommend them to my students. Contradiction? Not quite. I recommend apps like Duolingo for vocabulary practice, one of the hardest parts of language learning. Why? Because in our chaotic adult lives, carving out 15 minutes a day just to sit down and review words is hard. And if you're not being entertained, our attention span vanishes. Apps like Duolingo gamify that grind. You get streaks, badges, levels, you compete with friends. And that's a good thing. It keeps you motivated. For that purpose alone, Duolingo is fantastic. Where it helps and where it fails. With some students, I've noticed that using Duolingo helps them make quicker connections in class. They are better at recalling vocabulary and the memorization part becomes more automatic. That's progress. But here's the problem. Duolingo decides what you learn. Want to study travel vocabulary? Too bad. It's time for animals again. This rigidity is a major limitation. That's where apps like Quizlet are better. You can build or choose custom flashcards and focus on your actual weak spots. But, and this is crucial, you need to know what you're struggling with. Some learners can pinpoint that. Others, especially beginners, can't. For them, the structure Duolingo offers might feel reassuring. The confidence factor. Now let me tell you something no app can give you. Confidence. Fluency isn't just about knowing words. It's about walking up to a stranger and using them. That kind of courage doesn't come from an app. It comes from real-life practice, from making mistakes and being corrected, from a safe space, like a classroom or a Zoom session with a teacher, where you can stumble and try again. That's why I recommend learning a language with a teacher. Not because I am one, okay, partly that, but because it's simply the most effective way. Apps won't correct your awkward phrasing. They won't nudge you to rephrase, and they certainly won't laugh with you when you accidentally say something mildly inappropriate. My own humbling language journey. Let me tell you about my experience with language apps. In school, I learned French as my second foreign language. I liked English, but French, my absolute nemesis. I found no similarities between German and French, and without those mental connections, I struggled. I dropped it the first chance I got and forgot most of what I'd learned. Fast forward a few years, I'd since learned Dutch and started teaching German, and then moved to Belgium, where, as you probably know, French is pretty useful, so I gave Duolingo a try. Yes, me, the hypocrite. And to be fair, it helped. It jogged my memory. I bought a beginner's French book, I practiced regularly. I felt progress. Until I joined a language exchange program where teachers taught each other. I offered German in return for French. That first live lesson? Terrifying. My tongue felt glued to the roof of my mouth. I panicked about my accent. I forgot basic vocabulary. I was so nervous. But my teacher, like any good one, was supportive and kind. He praised me, corrected me, and made the space safe for learning. Within a few sessions, I noticed massive improvements, more than I ever got in almost 2 years of using Duolingo. It was like the difference between reading about how to drive a car and actually sitting behind the wheel. So, what should you do? If you're serious about learning a language, get a teacher. Online platforms make it affordable and accessible. Many offer free trial lessons. In the meantime, use Duolingo. Use it to build vocabulary, stay engaged, make language a part of your daily routine. But don't expect it to make you fluent, because fluency comes from interaction, not repetition. So, in summary, Duolingo is great for building vocabulary and daily engagement. It won't make you fluent, only real conversations with real people will do that. Use it with a teacher, not instead of one. If you want real results, don't just play the language, live it. If you're learning German, there are 3 things you can do now. First, you can join my weekly Kaffee Klatsch. Every Friday at 6 p.m. in the evening, I arrange a free online Kaffee Klatsch, so we can just chat in German. And secondly, you can get my course online about the difference between der, die, and das, the articles in German. The third thing you could do is to get a free trial lesson with me.